If I had to choose some things that I want to see at the June Nintendo Direct, or really just the next Nintendo Direct, and I could pick absolutely anything, doesn't matter what it is. One thing I would choose is the next Legend of Zelda game, and it would be a Toon Link game, by the way. We haven't had a new Toon Link game in a long time. And two, there would be something Mario, a 3D Mario game, the new one. I would have it be Mario Odyssey 2 alongside a new Paper Mario game that's like Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door. And on top of that, I want a new IP from Nintendo too. And you know what? You might as well add Super Smash Bros. The next one on there too. In this world of delusion, I can have anything I want, so those are some of the things I would like to see. Hey guys, it's Rob here, and welcome back to the Robotron Show, where we cover the latest news, leaks, and rumors from Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo. If you want to be kept up on the latest gaming news, make sure you click that red subscribe button below and have that notification bell on. And if you're interested, I have a Patreon, which link to that will be in the pinned comment along with my Twitter account. In this video, we are going to talk about what we could see at the next June Nintendo Direct, or just really the next Nintendo Direct if there ends up not being another Nintendo Direct in June, because that could entirely be possible. I say this because they're going to Summer Game Fest and Gamescom, plus they have a whole bunch of stuff already lined up, so there is a slight possibility that that rumor might be wrong, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. If you guys end up enjoying this video, leave a like, it helps the video out a lot, and if you want to follow me on Twitter and help us pass our goal of 1,000 followers, you can follow us at Roborob93. Without further delay, let's continue to the video. So when it comes to the June Nintendo Direct, or just the next Nintendo Direct, I think there are a lot of possibilities, and the first thing I do want to talk about is Metroid Prime 4. So one thing about Metroid Prime 4 is that it is a 2025 game, and if it's a 2025 game, more than likely at the next Nintendo Direct, we would see a release date, right? It makes a lot of sense. So that's really my first prediction for the next Nintendo Direct. I think we're going to see a release date for that Nintendo Direct. Now, as far as what the release date is, I do also have a guess for that as well. And there really is a specific reason for this. Part of it is because Pokemon Legends ZA is going to have a release date of October. So if we do see it at the next Nintendo Direct, whether that be a June Nintendo Direct or a September Nintendo Direct, or whenever we'll get the next Nintendo Direct, who knows, maybe we'll get a Metroid Prime 4 focused Direct. I think at the Nintendo Direct, they're gonna say, hey, Metroid Prime 4 is gonna be releasing in November. Because it'd be kind of weird if they put it in December, I think, and I don't think they would put it in January, because that's right after the holiday season. It would have to be before Christmas, because that's when people are gonna spend more money, right? Why would you say it's gonna be releasing in 2025 and not have it right before Christmas, where everyone's gonna literally be buying the Nintendo Switch 2 and new Nintendo Switch games? You would just be really dumb at that point. Or maybe I'm dumb and I'm wrong. I don't know. I guess we'll see. Now the next one, I think we will see the next 3D Mario game. But I do have to say, this highly depends on whether or not we're going to be getting a June Nintendo Direct, or are we going to get a September Nintendo Direct? Because if we get a June Nintendo Direct, I think Nintendo actually might wait on that, because usually Nintendo likes to set up the next 6 months, and the next 6 months for the Nintendo Switch is already packed, and that's aside from the stuff that we'll get from other companies this June when it comes to Summer Game Fest, which Nintendo is also going to. So that highly depends on that, but I do think a 3D Mario is going to come at the next Nintendo Direct. Now the next thing I'm going to say on this prediction of the next Nintendo Direct is I don't think we're going to see the Legend of Zelda movie. I think some people are expecting to see something from that, but remember, with the Super Mario movie, we ended up getting their own Nintendo Direct for the reveal of that trailer and for that movie. So I think Nintendo will just hold its own Nintendo Direct just like they did with the Super Mario movie. What Nintendo typically likes to do is look at the past, and if it works, do it again or improve upon it, and I think that worked really well for the Super Mario movie, and I think it's going to work really well for the Legend of Zelda movie. So that is my prediction on that. Now my next prediction has to do with the Nintendo Switch Online service. I feel like the Nintendo Switch Online service is really fantastic right now, especially since GameCube games are being added to the service. And this is one of those things that highly depends on whether, again, we're gonna get a June Nintendo Direct or a September Nintendo Direct. But if it is a September Nintendo Direct, there is a high chance we'll see more games added to the service. Not exactly with release dates, but they'll say, hey, these games are coming very, very soon. And what I'm hoping is they add Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness and Pokemon Coliseum, or at least one of them, to the Nintendo Switch Online service. I really want to play those games. I mean, that would be fantastic. So I'm hoping they do show that there, and my prediction is they're going to have some more GameCube games added. And next up, I think at that next Nintendo Direct, we're going to see that rumor come true for the Legend of Zelda remake. So when it comes to the Legend of Zelda, specifically Ocarina of Time, that rumor that recently popped up, I think it's really interesting, especially since it is a remake, right? One would think with the Nintendo Switch 2, you would bring out a mainline Legend of Zelda game. But what if Nintendo's using the Ocarina of Time remake to hold us over for the next Legend of Zelda? Nintendo has done that before. They have released other remakes, remasters, ports, which again, we'll get to that on the port side of Legend of Zelda because I do think they're going to show something there too. But I think Ocarina of Time remake will probably be there. If it is true anyways, again, it's still a rumor, so keep that in mind, but I think that could be at the next Nintendo Direct. And speaking of ports, remasters, that kind of thing when it comes to the Legend of Zelda, I think they're going to be showing up with the Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD. Now, for people who are saying, well, it's already going to be on GameCube, Nintendo has already stated that that is 100% on the table already. Just because they put games on the Nintendo Switch Online service doesn't mean they can't do ports, remasters, remakes, those kind of things. And I've been saying this for a very long time. The reason behind that is because Super Mario 64 is already on the Nintendo Switch Online service, and we also do have it in that pack with all those Super Mario games, right? Super Mario Galaxy, Super Mario 64, and Super Mario Sunshine, the Super Mario 35th Anniversary pack. So I think the Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD is gonna be revealed at the next Nintendo Direct. I think there's gonna be a lot of ports at the next Nintendo Direct. Now, speaking of ports, Metroid Prime 2 and 3, I think that's something that a lot of people are also expecting to show up at the next Nintendo Direct. The reason being is because Metroid Prime 4 is a 2025 game. Why wouldn't you bring those out before Metroid Prime 4? Usually what Nintendo does with these kind of games is they'll release them before the next big game. It's a small little way to get people ready for the next game in the series. So yeah, I think Nintendo's gonna be showing that at the next Nintendo Direct as well. Though I do have to say, The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker versus Metroid Prime 2 and 3, I think Metroid Prime 2 and 3 are more likely than The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD, just because Metroid Prime 4 is supposed to be a 2025 game, and you would more than likely probably release that, especially if you just showed off any sort of gameplay that got people really excited for Metroid Prime 4. You'd probably capitalize on that excitement and bring out those ports. It'd be very interesting if Nintendo actually stealth dropped those just like they did Metroid Prime 1's remaster. The next thing I think Nintendo's gonna do is hold some sort of event in Mario Kart World. I think that's what they're gonna do. I think there's gonna be some sort of new update, maybe a new map, or maybe something happening around the world, something like that. Kind of like how we recently had the Assassin's Creed Shadows new mission show up. In the interview about Mario Kart World, they said that they want to have this game be played for a very long time. So things like new updates that add new content, new carts, new missions, and then of course there's the option of DLC, but I don't think they're going to announce DLC just yet. I feel like that would be too soon, but some kind of event or update, kind of like Splatoon has their own little updates too, I think Nintendo will do for that game. Donkey Kong Bonanza, I don't think that's going to get DLC just yet. I do think eventually it will, but I don't think it's going to get DLC yet because that comes out in July. I feel like if you just release that game and then a couple months later they say, hey, DLC's coming, I feel like that would be too soon. Though I guess they have done that in the past with other games too, but they haven't necessarily revealed the actual DLC, so I could be wrong on that. I think we're also gonna get whatever trailer is gonna be shown at the Pokemon Presents from Pokemon Legends ZA. I think we'll get that trailer within there, and maybe even some more footage and details about the game. And again, this also highly depends on if we're gonna get that June Nintendo Direct or are we gonna get a September Nintendo Direct, because if it's June, I mean, why would you show a trailer already, right? That's what Pokemon Presents is for. But on the flip side, if it's a September Nintendo Direct, then of course September is after July. And my next prediction is they're probably going to announce something new for the Nintendo Switch 2. Again, one thing that Nintendo needs to do is keep on adding stuff to the Nintendo Switch 2 and promoting that, because the original Nintendo Switch and Switch Lite and the Nintendo Switch OLED obviously have declining sales, so the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to be that device that people are going to switch over to, or new icons, or just something that is unique to the Nintendo Switch 2. I think they're going to show that at the next Nintendo Direct. I also think that there's gonna be a but wait, there's more at the end of the Nintendo Direct, and I think that's gonna be entirely a new IP. I feel like there hasn't really been a new exciting big IP by Nintendo that ends up being on the level of say like Splatoon or, you know, ARMS for however short it actually lived. Next up, I think Crimson Desert is gonna be shown at the Nintendo Direct. If you guys didn't see this yet, apparently GameStop accidentally leaked this game out. Now this entirely can be possible to be revealed before the Nintendo Direct because June is a third-party type deal here. When it comes to Nintendo anyways, a lot of stuff we'll get for the Nintendo Switch 2 and Nintendo Switch will be third-party within June, Nintendo Directs aside. My second prediction is, or not second, Jesus, this is like what the 10th or something. Let's just call it the 10th prediction. But anyways, my next prediction is that they're going to be bringing a lot of Xbox games over to the Nintendo Switch too. We know that Xbox has a really tight relationship with Nintendo, and a lot of games are already on the original Nintendo Switch. So I think we're going to see a lot of these Xbox games announced for the Nintendo Switch too. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if games like Avowed and Starfield end up being put on the Nintendo Switch too, along with some kind of Call of Duty game. Because remember, Xbox has to put Call of Duty on the Nintendo Switch too. That's within the contract that they signed, or whatever thing they signed for that. So make sure you tell me your predictions for the next Nintendo Direct. What games, what kind of maybe special editions, or maybe even special editions of specific Joy-Cons on specific games. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section below and what you think is going to be at the next Nintendo Direct. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care. And if not on your way out, make sure you subscribe for more videos and also have that notification bell on. And if you want to support the channel in any other way, there is my Patreon and Twitter account in the pinned comment if you're interested in those. Oh, and also have this donut if you're still sticking around for me rambling. Thanks for watching, guys, and remember, stay safe, stay charged, and have a good one.